Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tilted Bench. Doesn't look like anybody's here yet. I did double check we are live, so they should be showing up in a minute, hopefully, if anybody does show up. Which they may not, which is what replays are for. We're
That is
live.
absolutely what they're for.
We're live here, and we're live on YouTube. I have a Facebook channel I started, but like I don't have any audience over there, so it's just kind of playing around for right now. We'll see what happens.
There we go. We got.
Here comes some folks. Hi Leanne, hi Caitlin.
There we go.
Whoa.
A
And then
LinkedIn
there's a
user is
LinkedIn
here.
user. I'm here. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Is that
I'm
LinkedIn
here.
user? I'm here is Amber. It always does that to Amber. No, I think Amber's at work today. Who are you, LinkedIn user? Oh, listening. Okay, good, good. All right, well, this is Tilted Bench, you guys, a show where we talk to coaches about coaching. We're just here to find out what it is, what it does, why it works. And Ashley is here with us today. Hi, Rebecca. That's who it is. It's good to see you. Um, oh, and Sam is here. Hi, Sam. Awesome. So today we're going to talk a little bit about video content coaching, confidence. I thought it was appropriate, given that this is video content itself, to have Ashley help me kick it off. So, Ashley, I'm glad you're here. Why don't you
Absolute pleasure.
start us off by telling us, what kind of coaching you do and how you got into it?
Wow, yeah. So I help people ultimately get confident, letting their personality out on camera, um, showing up, leading with personality is how I like to call it. Instead of just, okay, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. We throw, there it goes, that goes into the bin, and we lead with personality. So I really dive into what is it that makes you you? What makes you the only choice for the people that you'd like to work with? So bringing that out, your passions, your personality, your drive, all of the things that make you unique, celebrating that and creating content from that point. Because that, certainly in the world that we're living in at the moment, that real human connection has never been any more important. And how I got into it, a happy accident, really, complete happy accident. So around the pandemic time, um, I was still working in education, and I'm an ambivert. So my extrovert loves being in front of people, loves talking to people, loves a crowd, loves to have that spotlight on me. So being in a little box room during the pandemic, one day I was kind of sat here, kind of twiddling my thumbs, talking to Casper, thinking, I need to talk to somebody who's actually, going to engage with me. So I recorded a video, and it was a 6 minute epic, me going on for hours about, I have no idea, I was waffling on about something, and I posted it. And I thought, oh, I quite like that. So I posted again the next Friday, and the Friday after that, and the Friday after that, and eventually started to get really confident on video. And people started asking me, say, Ashley, you're really confident on video. How did you get confident like that? I wish I could be confident like you on video. And the business was born.
I don't think I've ever, I don't remember if I've asked you this before. Maybe in our first coffee chat, however long ago, we talked about that. But I mean, it is something that really shows in your videos. Like you have a level of energy that you bring to the videos that I imagine a lot of people are probably envious of. Because for some people, it's really hard to get into it. They do it with trepidation and then they post it anyway. And they're like, oh, why don't I have any energy in that video? I mean, on that note, who would you say is your kind of ideal client when you're thinking about who you want to work with?
Actually, other coaches, because I believe coaches really have a gift and an ability to help people change the world in whatever it is that they're doing. Be that mindset, belief systems, weight, language. They really have the power to guide people to change the world, one person at a time. But I know so many coaches that find the whole marketing thing, the whole showing up online thing, a bit like, oh, well, no, I just want to work with people. I want to work with my people. I don't want to have to do this whole, get on video and start doing dancing and singing like they, which of course you don't have to do unless, of course, you want to. So coaches are the people that I really, really get a lot of enjoyment working with. It's not that I work exclusively with coaches. I work with other business owners as well. So anybody that's trying to change the world for one person, two people, three people at a time, I like working with it.
Yeah, and I think that like video has a way to do that in a way that nothing else does. We've talked about this before, that video creates connection, right?
Yeah,
When you just do a text, but like I love telling people this. When you write a text post and I read it, I'm probably reading it in my head, hearing my own voice,
yeah,
right? Unless I know you really, really well. If I know you well enough, I can start to hear your voice. But when you do a video, I have to hear your voice. There it is. Um, and I think that if you want to help people as a coach, particularly, you need that kind of barrier to entry to be crossed. So much of it has to do with familiarity. You want to know that you're
yeah,
going to click with the coach. When you have people kind of get on a first call with you and you've already talked um, to them and they've decided they want to have that opening call, to what degree do you think your body of work in video kind of takes down barriers for them in that first call?
oh, massively. Um, the amount of times I've been told on a call, nice, it's awesome to finally meet you, and you're exactly how I thought you would be. That there is priceless, when it comes to the whole call thing, because you've already built rapport, and that is massive. That's the power of video. Seeing you, hearing you, getting to know your vibe, getting to know how you act, your sense of humor, your quirks, it all adds to building rapport. It attracts the people that kind of are on the same sort of vibe as you. And as well, it also repels people that are going to think, nah, not for me. And this is a good thing. This is a great thing. It's a great thing for you. It's a great thing for them because it saves everybody time in the long run, because I think that's the risk when you're just doing text posts or you're putting out, say, a certain persona, an online avatar or something online. If you're putting that out, that's what people are buying into. And that can cause a disconnect when you do get on calls and they're like thinking, wait a sec, you're not at all like I thought you'd be.
Yeah. Hey, Paul and Sam and Lydia. By the way, I see a few more people have joined us. It's good to see you guys there. Um, that and Sam even asked if where did it go? I mean, it happens, right? Like with Sam, this is a great example. Like I do hear Sam's voice in my head when I read her posts because I've been on a few calls with her, but also I've heard her on audio events enough. In that case, that it's not video, but I'm still hearing her voice. Um, and that's a good thing to point out, that like there's voice, you need to hear it. And then there's the physicality of it. It's like sometimes there's little quirks, there's facial expressions
Yep.
you make, and those may be off putting or they may be something that you really like. And you get to see that in video. Hey, Susanna. Um, I'm glad that you flagged that though, because this is something that on LinkedIn for me has been an interesting thing to hear at. I didn't come from a background where I was exposed to any kind of marketing speak. So the idea that you would ever want to repel anybody didn't make any sense to me. Like, why would
Mm-hmm.
you repel people? But the great thing about coaching is that there are tons of coaches out there. And it's such a personal thing that it really gives you an opportunity to have a pretty intimate relationship with people.
Yeah.
So that makes it extra important to have that level of kind of knowing a person before you choose them.
Well, I think that's ultimately the benefit of social media in general. You know, certainly like a platform like LinkedIn, you are building up a, because say for example the first time that somebody sees you on LinkedIn or social media, they're not necessarily going to go, right, okay, that's the person for me. It's going to build up over time. So if they're constantly getting into the habit of seeing you on video or seeing whatever form of content you do put out, they will, that's just building up that familiarity. And every single step that you're taking them on, you're taking them on a journey, and they're going, okay, yeah, yeah, okay, I like that person, I like that person. And then there'll be one day, maybe when they are ready to take some form of action, that they'll be like, okay, right. Oh, they're, oh, he's talking to me. Yep, okay, time to book a call. And that familiarity is priceless. So priceless.
Right. I mean, what's the thing that the marketers say? There's something like 8 touch points or something you need before somebody finally reaches out. There's some figure, and I'm not a marketer, so I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've heard 7, 8, and 47. It's a personal thing.
47, right? Right. Well, that's the other thing, that it's going to depend on who you're talking to. Some people are going to jump more quickly, some are going to jump more slowly. So you need a constant kind of stream of those touch points in order to find those clients, or maybe more accurately, help them find you, depending
Yeah.
on what your mode of operation is. I know I was talking to someone earlier this morning who was talking about seeking out clients. Like, she doesn't, have clients come to you. It's an invite only situation. Um, for you, do you find that your clients are more people that you like notice out there, and you're like, oh, I can help you, I need you, and you try and like chase a specific person, or are you just kind of rolling out the mat and seeing who shows up?
Generally, it's a combination of the two. Um, the content in itself is there to kind of roll out the map. Map. Could be both. There we go.
Well, it could be both. Yeah.
It could be a map mat. There we go.
Now, some the
That was smooth. That
branding
was
people are
smooth.
taking notes.
I certainly hope so. I am available
But
if
I
you
should
need
take
me.
notes.
There we go. Genius. I'm now got a special offer on my branding rates as well. So let's talk. Right. Anyway, where were we? So I've completely lost my train of thought. So yes, it is a kind of combination of the two. So the content in itself is an invitation to say, I'm here. An invitation to say, look, whenever you're ready, I'm here. And the content is like you telling them, look, I get it. I get it. I hear you. I see you. I know where you're at. And this is what is possible. And over time, as you're building up relationships, because if your content is engaging, people are going to start commenting. Now, not everyone will comment, especially if we're talking about any level of vulnerability here. And because as we were talking about before we came on, judgment is there. You know, if you're literally going to go into a comment section and go, yep, that's me, that takes a high level of awareness, be comfortable, being comfortable to be vulnerable. And some people aren't there yet. And so making those continual invitations, letting people know that you are there is the way to go. And say people have engaged and people are commenting on your posts, that's usually, if you feel that there's an invitation there, you could then bring that into your DMs, into your direct message, and just talk, just chat, and then see if there's any scope to get on a call or potentially work together. That's usually how I approach it.
There's a couple of people in the comments talking about coaches having their own coaches. I
Mm,
and this is one of those things that I wonder about a lot. Like,
yeah,
Ashley, do you have a coach, or have you ever
absolute,
worked with one?
absolutely, yeah. I it's it's something that really helps because ultimately we're all humans. And one of the things, and I know some of the coaches on this call probably resonate with this, is the fact that we all carry our own, we all have our own dramas, we all have our own troubles, we all have our own things that go on. And you can have all the tools in the world, but when you get into that, maybe the blinkers come on and you get caught up in some sort of drama, or you get stuck in your head and you start second guessing yourself, and then get frustrated about the fact you've got all the tools in the world to get out of that, but you can't because you're stuck into it. That's where the coach comes in. Being able to, even sometimes just being able to verbalize it out loud with another coach, just straight away, it's like, I see what I've been doing. Okay, and off you go.
It's that mirroring thing, right?
Totally,
Yeah. Yeah.
totally. It's so easy. I think sometimes, again, if if it sneaks up on you, because some of those mind monkeys and limiting beliefs and the egos can be a sneaky little so and so.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they definitely are. It's there was a post yesterday that Lynn Rivest did, and in the post she talked about Barbara Sher, who I had not heard about before yesterday on Lynn's post. And in the comments, she linked to a YouTube video of a talk by Barbara. And one of the things that she talks about in there is we talk about the importance of positivity and mindset. And mindset certainly matters, not to say that
Yeah,
mindset's not important, but all the positive mindset in the world doesn't do you anything if you're not in motion, if you're not in action. And part of what you need sometimes to figure out what that next thing to do is other people to talk to. So her whole
yeah,
talk is about how you need other people, and there's incredible value in community, because if you have mentors, you have colleagues, certainly coaches, they're going to help you see things that you can't see without that extra set of eyes because you're just too close to the situation.
yeah. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I think that's the thing. It's personal. It's the same like with why kind of marketers and copywriters will probably get other people in to do their copy and their marketing for them, because it's your baby. It's
Right,
personal.
right.
And with all the stories that you might have around that, you when you're working with somebody else, it's like, I know when I wrote my copy on my website years ago, at the time I was working more in a kind of copywriting space, and I was like if I was writing the copy for your website, Nathan, I'd be able to do it in 5 minutes. I'd be able to do it a lot quicker. When I was doing it for me, it was like giving birth to a baby elephant. It was horrendous, an horrendous experience. Because again, it was personal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, this this is like I was everybody. I was telling Ashley before we went live that as I'm sitting here, like getting ready for him to get in the call before I started open to restream and all that, I'm like walking around in my office and I'm like, is this ready? Is that ready? Is my camera just right? Is my mic angle perfect? And do I have a pencil? Do I have a highlighter? And I'm like obsessing over this little thing and that little thing. And I didn't need any of that stuff. Like I was ready. I was ready enough. Like all I needed was just you, and then click live and we're good to go. But I think that's what happens to us. We get inside our own head and we're
Yeah,
kind of trapped there, just trying to, keep piddling with things. Like we just want to play
yeah,
with things because we're trying to perfect it, but it's good enough. You got to go. What do you, so when you are working with your clients,
mm.
specifically trying to deal with the confidence on the video thing, like what sorts of blocks do you find there that people are facing? And do you have any
Oh,
favorites, right?
oh, I've got a few. Well, I mean, straight away, just coming back to what you just said there, Nathan, that it has to be perfect. The video is got to be just so. And if it's not just so, people will judge me. Now, straight away, you're judging yourself when you're in that place. You're like thinking it's not good enough, it's not good enough, it's not good enough. That's the message you're ultimately telling yourself. So we kind of work straight away with that. I think one of the first things I do when we do get started on the videos is to remove that need for it to be perfect and just focus specifically on the message. So one of the things I often get my clients to do to start with before they go anywhere near posting something is start making a video diary. So they'll literally just have the camera in their hand and they'll just be like, press play, talk, whatever. Talk about the weather, talk about the football, talk about whatever for 1 minute. Just talk about how ridiculous it is that you're talking to a piece of plastic and glass, whatever it is that you're wanting to do. Just talk for 1 minute so that you're getting confident with that. And I tend to find that really helps with the self-conscious nature of it, because there is a lot of that, talking to a camera initially can feel very awkward, because as humans we're constantly looking for feedback. We're looking right now at each other. We're not even maybe even aware that we're looking. It's like, okay, is he paying attention? Is he listening to me? Is he doing this? We do that. It's natural. And you remove that when you're in recording a video. So you need to work a little bit on the mindset to get into the zone so that you can just think, okay, I'm not just talking to a piece of glass right now. I'm talking to somebody. I am talking to somebody. There is somebody at the other end that I am talking to. This is basically a window. And the other end of that window is somebody that really needs to hear this message. And again, when you put yourself into that place, I felt kind of like really lively just talking about it then. Just your energy just comes up. You can't fight that. And over time, you start to realize the more that you do it, that nobody cares about the size of your nose, your center parting, your accent, all of these other things that you tell yourself people will care about. Like, oh, nobody will like my accent. I hear that all the time. And then I always respond to that when I hear that. It's like, okay, so when you do a Zoom with your clients or that, anybody complain about your accent?
Mine?
There,
No.
there you go.
Lo and behold, it doesn't hold up when you start collecting the data. Look at that.
Absolutely. When you called it out, and that's the important thing, calling stuff out, challenging it. When you've got these little voices going on in your head, really challenge it. And like you said, the more you challenge it, just doesn't hold up.
Yeah, it's true. We've got one from Paul here. Paul says, I'm curious, Ashley, in your experience, have you found that content and storytelling is key? If you're not a master marketer or have the best equipment, your story and experience can fix most problems. What do you think about that?
I think we're probably both on the same page with that,
Yeah.
Nathan, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. We are, Paul. We are.
So 100%. 100%. The content and the storytelling is absolutely key. And one of the really encouraging developments really from a video point of view now is, and this is one of the things we can thank TikTok for, is raw, unfiltered, don't need to have all these bells and whistles going. You, camera, speak, share your story, because ultimately we're a race of storytellers. We all have stories, every single one of us. So if anyone's going there in the background, no, I don't have a story, don't believe you. We've all got stories. We've all got stories. We've all had challenges in our lives. We've all got learnings that we can share, every single one of us. And you see it on LinkedIn every single day. The posts that do the best involve a story. Yep, there we go.
Absolutely.
That fantastic punctuation there.
Crisply said, Caitlin. Well, actually, we're almost out of time. I wondered if it might go quickly. It has.
It has flown by.
For the first thing is, if anybody wants to reach out and connect with you, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
I feel like I live on this platform, so if you're watching on LinkedIn, come and say hello. This is kind of my second virtual home.
go look in the event description, and there he is. Go get him.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
to kind of help, I'm trying to think if there's. Oh, see, yeah. I love that we're ending on this note about story. Like stories are one of my favorite things, and anytime we get to talking about that, because I agree with you. You know, we've all got stories. Sometimes we're tempted not to believe that they're as valuable as they are, but they're incredibly valuable. So we should all be hearing that and remembering that. Ashley, I had mentioned to you that I wanted you to have the opportunity to give us kind of a nugget of wisdom, something that we can clip out later and that everybody can share with all of their friends and their colleagues. I know on your own podcast, An Espresso Shot of Confidence, you call this part of the show the espresso shot of confidence.
I do
So
indeed.
this doesn't have to be necessarily confidence related, but just something that you'd want the audience to remember, me to remember, coaches to remember. What do
Yeah,
you think it would
absolutely.
be?
Message. Absolutely. You have a message that somebody right now in this moment needs to hear. So you may be telling yourself, your judge, whatever's saying, no, no, no. It's been told before. I've heard this all before. Nobody cares. This is too simple to share. And it might be simple for you, but it could be a game changer for someone else. So please share, because your message delivered in your own unique way, with your own unique personality and passion, will resonate with somebody who really needs to hear
Did you guys get that?
it.
That's some good stuff. I believe you. I love that. Sam says, boom, boom indeed. Paul, thanks for the comment. Whoops, I turned it on and I turned it off. There's bound to be some technical difficulties. Everybody, thank you for being here for the first show. Next week, we've got Patrick Jones coming. He is going to talk to us about selling and writers and coaching writers to sell. Ashley, thank you so much for your time. I am glad you're here. You're perfect first guest.
It's been an absolute
I'm
pleasure,
glad I
Rob.
resisted the temptation to call you awesome instead of Ashley during the show.
No, that was my
That
mistake.
was.
I'm owning that one.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Awesome, thank you.